TaxAct knows filing your small business taxes can be a nightmare, like the kind where you're being chased by a giant W-2 form and you're running and running, but you can never reach the submit button. Or something like that. So, TaxAct offers Expert Assist with live tax experts to make filing taxes less scary. Now, you can just have pleasant dreams about being chased by other giant, non-threatening paperwork. TaxAct. Let's get them over with.
Clorox Scentiva smells like grapefruit. Cleans like Clorox. And feels like...
Okay, we could be here all day. Try Clorox Scentiva for a trusted clean with long-lasting freshness. Also available in lavender and coconut. Use as directed.
Welcome to the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. My name is Bill Moore. I'm the founder of Food Truck Training Group on Facebook. I'm a co-owner of a food trailer with my wife, Melissa. The food trailer is called Food Truck 101, and I'm the executive director of the National Street Food Vendors Association, a nonprofit dedicated to education, advocacy, and uplifting all food vendors. You'll be hearing more about us in the coming weeks. Today I'm going to be talking about a subject that is near and dear to my heart, predicated with the sentence, I don't pay. We'll talk about that in just a minute, but before we do, I want to talk about the Food Truck Owners Expo that's coming up in Houston, Texas this year, July 29th and 30th, this year being 2024. I'm going to be participating in that expo on both Monday and Tuesday. I'll be giving two classes. One is on profitable menu writing. The other is on marketing in the off-season, as well as I'll be a part of the Campfire Networking Lounge, where I'll be there all day long, answering all your questions, talking about the food truck industry, and allowing you guys to network with each other, meet food truck owners from around the country, and just learn about the business. So if you haven't already bought your tickets, go to FTOexpo.com, place that order today, and when you do, put in the code FTTG15 for a 15% discount. So many people on our Facebook group will ask about, how much do y'all pay when you go somewhere? How much should I pay when I go to a homeowners association or a brewery or even an event? And then there'll always be a number, and I do mean a number of people that say, I don't pay. They need us. And you guys have heard me talk about this before. But here's the issue with the I don't pay crowd. It's a limiting, very limiting business model. Basically, what you're doing by saying, I don't pay, is you're creating a ceiling that the business can never, ever exceed. And the sad thing is, a lot of people that say, I don't pay, don't even realize it. And the reason that they say, I don't pay, is because they've had some past hardship. They have had something that's happened to make them become cynical, and then they accept whatever the ceiling is because they're powered by the illusion that they're in charge of their own destiny. They're creating a safe place to hide from the harshness of having made a bad decision in the past. Safe places being warm and fuzzy, they might pay for today, but they certainly won't be paying for your future because you can't grow as a business. So it comes down to answering a question. Are you creating a job or are you creating a business? And you've heard me say this before in relationship to a lot of other actions that food truck owners take. Every action that you take is answering that question, whether you realize it or not. Every limit that you create for yourself as a protection to keep you from losing money or getting hurt, it moves your business farther from the success you desire because you're into complacency, you're into easy, you're into, I'm not going to push. I'm just going to stand my ground and say, nope, I don't pay. I've been doing this a whole lot longer than most people that are on our Facebook group or just most people in general. Now, that's not to say I'm older than dirt. Some people do say I am, but I'm not. But I've been doing this a long, long time. And what I learned when I first started doing this in the 80s is still true today. And you guys see it every single day. Event organizers. And when I say event organizers, I'm talking about somebody who is a part of an organization that's putting on an entertainment event. They are providing rides to ride. They're providing games. They are providing some form of entertainment that the general public is going to attend. Either they're going to attend it freely or they're going to attend it through some type of ticket. But in any case, an event is something like that. An event is not a car show because that is an automatic limiter. A car show is only going to be popular with people that are into whatever type of car is going to be at that car show. It's a way to kill a couple of hours. It's not a way to entertain yourself and your family for hours upon hours to where you're going to be hungry at some point. So understand what an event is and also what an event is not. So we're talking about an event that's big, that's going to have a few thousand, maybe even tens of thousands of people come, and they're going to be entertained, which means that food trucks are just an ancillary service. They're an amenity. Just like when you stay at a hotel, there's some amenities you may partake of, and there's some amenities you go, okay, they're there, but I don't care. Weight rooms, for instance. How many weight rooms have you walked past? That's an amenity. You're paying for that amenity to be there, and then the weight room goes unused. The swimming pool. You look outside your room, overlooking that swimming pool, and you see a few people there. Maybe no one. That's an amenity. You're paying for it. The continental breakfast. You have an occupancy rate of a hotel that is 90% full, but you go down to look at the continental breakfast and you realize that they're only doing it for an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. And the whole time you're sitting there, there's only 20, 30 people in a hotel that should have a few hundred. So amenities, just like your food truck, your food trailer at an event, is not going to get 100% of those people. You're just an amenity, and you can be easily replaced. Once you understand that you can be easily replaced, you don't get hung up on some of the demands that other food truck owners are making. So understand in an event, and I've seen this again since the 80s, event organizers and event salespeople, the people that are tasked with getting things to fill the space, so that being amenities like food trucks and food trailers, as well as entertainment and games and all the other things to fill the space, they look through the world with very bright, rose-colored bonus and results tied glasses. They get more people coming to the event, they get a bigger bonus. They get more people signing up to be a part of the event, they're going to get bonuses tied to those. Now, an event that goes on year over year has a track record. If they brought in 10,000 people this year, then maybe last year they only brought in 8,000. But if this is a first year event, don't be the guinea pig. Tell them thanks, but no thanks. But when you give that, I don't pay, then you're an automatic no for the rest of the time that event's on. They won't waste their time calling upon you because you are a lead that will go nowhere. They aren't looking for people to be arrogant and say, I don't pay. They're looking for people that will pay. So when you are approached by someone that says, hey, I want you to be a part of the event, you want to ask a question. Real simple. What's your projected attendance? Now, if it's a brand new event and you have a salesperson, they may exaggerate and go, it's going to be 1 million people. Now, there's going to be some vendors that will jump at that chance, thinking, oh my God, 1 million people. That means I'm going to do $30,000 in a day. That's awesome. I'm going to do it, without asking other follow-up questions to see, well, how do you know you're going to have 1 million people? Will the space that you're in hold 1 million people? Are you going to print off 1 million tickets? How will you attract 1 million people? And of course, 1 million people is not possible, but you get the point. How will you attract whatever number they tell you? Does your marketing budget reflect being able to reach 10 million people? Because 10 million people would translate into maybe 1 million showing up. Maybe. So if they're telling you we're going to have 20,000 people, they need to reach at least 60 to 100,000 people. Does the marketing budget reflect they could reach that many people? Now, there are food truck owners, and a lot of these that I don't pay, they have a backstory. And that backstory is they did pay at some point and they got burned. Now, the burn could be because they believed somebody was going to have 1 million people and they didn't. The burn could also be something as simple as it rained and they lost a bunch of money and they're blaming somebody. So now they don't pay for anything. And when you talk to them, they'll paint all organizers, all event people as liars. They all lie. Well, here's the thing. If all event organizers lie, then all food truck owners are gullible. Now you're going, but Bill, I'm not gullible. When you start to paint the world in broad strokes like that, and you start to generalize, you're doing yourself a disservice. And this disservice leads to the revelation that, OMG, I must protect myself, and I know I'll quit the real events and those huge paydays and only attend events that are gullible enough to either pay me in advance, give me a minimum, or allow me to attend free. So what you get to do is you get to count tens and hundreds, and you feel like, oh, that's awesome. I saved myself that event fee. Ha, ha, ha. But you're passing on thousands and tens of thousands in sales. You're creating a futureless job. Good for you. In the 1980s, just like today, the organizers, again, just like today, they had to be taught what a food truck needs to be secure in a profitable event. Now, but you're going, Bill, if you've been teaching them since the 80s, we shouldn't have to deal with it. Well, guess what? When you take the lead and teach rather than demand, that organizer gets to learn. But here's the problem. Today's organizer most likely is not going to be next year's organizer. Why is that? because a lot of these events are put on by committee, and then they elect somebody. You're going to be in charge of marketing this year. You're going to be in charge of outreach to vendors and other participants to populate the event. And then the next year, there'll be somebody different. Why? Because this isn't a full-time job. There are not people that do this every single day of their life. So it can't be a full-time job. So whatever time you spend educating them, good for you. But most likely that education goes nowhere because they're not going to be doing this again next year. If they are doing it next year, I guarantee you they're not doing it the third year. That is the rare person that you will be talked to 3 years in a row. They're either really, really committed or they really, really love what they do. But again, it can't be a full-time job. There is no event organizer that is going from event to event to event to event. There's a parade they put on in Fort Walton Beach, Florida. It's called Billy Bowlegs, and it is a well-attended, long-term event. And there's new people every year organizing the thing. Same with the Destin Seafood Festival, the same with the Mullet Festival. When it was going on, there are new people every single year getting into it. There's a small group of people that own the thing, and then they hire people or get volunteers to help. But the people that own the thing most likely are not the ones trying to get people coming in as an event participant. Now, this may come as a shock to you, but there is no school on how to run a successful event. So the new guy this year that's making it all up as he goes, trying to get you to participate in an event. Yeah, it's got 1 million people coming. You got to be there. He's just making it all up as he goes. He wants this to be a successful year because I'm the best. I'm going to get people in here. Is it sad that people exaggerate? Yeah, it is sad. But what's more sad is that there are food truck owners that believe it. It's all a matter of asking the questions. How many people are going to attend really? I know there's not 1 million because that venue space will not hold 1 million. So how many people are really coming? How are you going to market to at least 10 times more than the people you think are going to be there? And do you have a budget that would reach that many people? What's marketing budget going to be for your event? And if they don't want to tell you the dollar amount, then say, well, how are you going to reach 10 times whatever you tell me is going to be there? If they tell you 20,000 people's coming, they got to reach 200,000 people. How are you going to do that? Social media is not going to do it. Do you have TV, billboards, radio? Are you giving away some free tickets? How are people going to be enticed to come to this event? Do you have pre-sales on the tickets? Are the day of ticket prices higher than the pre-sale tickets? Ask those kind of questions instead of just saying, I don't pay. Well, if you say, I don't pay, you also don't get paid. I've done big events. I have paid a lot more money than I would want to pay for an event. But every single time, as long as the weather held, I've been happy that I wrote that big check to get into the thing in the first place. Because my sales and my profitability after having paid for the big entry fee was more than worth it. But unless you understand what you're getting yourself into, you can't give the advice of, nope, I don't pay. Because you're doing a disservice to everybody else that's trying to read and trying to learn. Your business model, do whatever you want with it, but your business model as I don't pay for events will not grow. You have a job. Thank you guys so much for listening to the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. Take a moment to follow our podcast, and if you really like what we do, then support us. There's going to be links in the description so that you can give us that support. Every little bit does help keep us going. Until next time, you guys have a profitable day.